She routinely sees people in her apartment complex parking lot checking the cars, even looking through the windows to see if they see anything they want. Crime scene is slowly getting cleaned up out here. You can still see a patrol car blocking portions of Peekaboo Street. Now, this is the street that leads to that call center. Did you kill the gas station clerk?
I have nothing to say to you guys.
Walking to their window to open it, only to find their car gone. But when he came out, he noticed two motorcycles parked right here in between his vehicle and another. Where the gun battle happened, right here on Montgomery. If you look right behind me, you can still see a number of police cars and flashing lights. But we did bring our ruler to give you a better idea of how much snow is left on the grassy portion of the plaza here. So we're going to stick our ruler in about 2 inches. Now boarded up, ceiling tiles are either missing or barely hanging on. All of this for something that was sitting right up against this wall connected to these wires. Now it's hard to tell, but portions of this road are almost knee deep. It's not something you ever plan for. Looking danger in the eye, or in this case, staring down the wrong end of a handgun. But this is reality for Bill Thompson. This woman, her white Camry, is sitting in his driveway.
And didn't even think about it going. Just never, we're not that type of people, so we didn't think about it.
He says it started as a normal Sunday. He and his wife walked out of their home to go to church when a red flag went up. It was a white car, unfamiliar to his neighborhood.
He slowed down and stayed at that stop sign as I was coming down the steps.
With that feeling in his gut, he decided to leave and come back. Sure enough, that white car passed by twice before pulling into their driveway.
We weren't prepared. They were there. And then my thought was to block them in.
He says it seemed this woman was trying to break in, but that attempted crime took a very ugly turn.
This is what happens when animals are caged in and they're cornered. They act like animals.
Caged and possibly angry, this woman doesn't leave before doing the unexpected. Thompson's wife reaches for her phone when a bullet comes flying in her direction.
As she drove away, she turned and fired a shot at my wife, reaching for her phone.
And your wife was right
here. She was right here.
And the bullet hit right here.
Right there.
Missing her by mere inches.
She almost killed my wife. And all we had with us was a Bible. She had a gun, we had a Bible. But maybe that's all we needed.
At 28 years old, Martha Chavarria had a full life ahead of her. She decided to dedicate her time serving the Lord. So she left her family in the 1980s to join the Aggressive Christianity Missions Training Corps. What they didn't know is that would be one of the last times they would see her.
I think deep down we thought we would at some point. We never thought the circumstances would be like this.
Chavarria married a man in the sect and they had a child, a little girl, a toddler her parents met one time. They received the news last week that at age 46, Chavarria passed away in 2006 from some sort of illness. Local deputies called the death naturally caused. Her daughter is still there.
I mean, we're in a lot of pain. It hurts, and when you hear something devastating like this, some of us want closure. Some of us want to be able to see what exactly happened.
So her entire family drove 16 hours to Fence Lake to say a proper goodbye. But this is how they were greeted when they arrived.
Under the circumstances of us being basically attacked and terrorized with SWAT teams and stuff.
We don't come with terrorism, we come with peace.
Pretty much a slap in the face.
This was a long journey, and for this to happen, I mean, all we were expecting was 5 minutes for us to maybe say a prayer, to pay our respects, and that was it.
But that's not what they got.
I feel bad, but the bearer of, bad news, I know you came all this way out here, brought the cameras for media hype and all that stuff. But where's the compassion for all the innocent people and children in custody for nothing?
More than a week ago, the compound was raided. A number of people were arrested, facing charges from kidnapping to sexual child abuse. 11 children, some without birth certificates, were also removed. Though Chavarria's family wanted nothing to do with those allegations, they were turned away, taking with them one final message.
Didn't Jesus say, repent or you will all perish? If you came all the way from California to hear that, it's worth it.
This was his dream. It's the goal he'd spent his life working to achieve, owning his own restaurant. Shannon Quintana accomplished that when he opened Badass Sandwiches near the Santa Fe Plaza. But all the signage, tables, and kitchen supplies are now gone. There's nothing left besides boarded up windows.
I walk around town and everybody says there's a dude who got 70 people sick.
That's because Quintana was hired last year to cater a holiday party for the New Mexico Department of Health. One day after his meal, the agency reported around 70 people had gotten food poisoning. Not only that, but he'd been cited for not having a catering permit. But rewind the clock. He says there's much more to the story.
I told them I had never catered before, but if they wanted to order sandwiches from my shop, that's fine.
Because he'd never catered before, it was likely safe to assume he didn't have a permit for it. Even so, he says they requested him to stray from his normal sandwich menu. He prepared chicken and steak.
This is the Department of Health. Why would I question them at all?
Yeah.
If they contacted me, that means I can do everything that they're asking me to do.
The even trickier part, the holiday meal was to be served in the DOH building, but he was told he wouldn't have a kitchen to use. He says in addition to his meal, other employees brought their own dishes.
They had salsa, queso, they had fruit salad, they had pies, and again, there was no event kitchen because they didn't let me use the kitchen.
Quintana requested the lab reports from the state, the ones that had confirmed the many foodborne illnesses. He did not receive 70 reports, instead just 3, confirming a bacteria was discovered. A spokesperson with the Department of Health says lab results were only needed from a sample of those that were ill. But Quintana claims those reports don't conclusively conclude anything, so he's taking the state to court, demanding justice.
Now I don't have a business, I don't have anything.